So you know how to configure DNS server in Microsoft 2016 or any other version. So here on DNS server, we need MX record and A record. On DNS server, we need MX record for abc.com and xyz.com. Okay. These are for mail server, mail exchange record. And then we need A record. For abc.com and xyz.com. For ABC, I will give 101.1.11. Let's 101.1. Let's give 11 only. And here I will give 102.1.11. Okay. Let's take the access of routers and switches and let me show you the configuration. This is R9. It is connected for here. Let me draw. Wait. I cannot draw anything here. I have never done that. This is abc.com. Okay. And on the other side, this is xyz.com. So on this R9, you can see we have IP addresses configured, okay, on E0 by 0 and on E0 by 1. E0 by 0 is connected with this ISP router. E0 by 1 is connected with this internal mail server. And on this PC itself, I will install that Microsoft Thunderbird, okay, which will be working as internal external mail client, okay. So IP route. Here we have a default route towards ISP, or you can say R8, okay. So run section net. Here net is configured static net for this server. This server IP address is being translated into this public IP address. Okay. For internet connectivity, you can configure an access list, right? NACL and permit IP, NANE. And you can configure PAD. IP NAT inside source list NACL interface E0 by 0. So here PAD can also be configured to provide internet connectivity. Okay. After this, we have this R4 router. On R4 router also, we have configured IP addresses. 101.1.1 is connected with this ISP router R8 and 10.134 is connected with the switch. Here it is having EIGRP neighborship with this switch, okay, on its SPI for VLAN 20. Other than this, here we have a default route also configured towards ISP, and I redistributed this default route in EIGRP so that it can be propagated throughout the topology. Okay. Then I configured PAD and static NAT here. Static NAT for the translation of this server. This is your internal mail server IP address 192.168.1.10. Here is this internal mail server. Okay. Clear. So this is how it is working. Okay. All the devices will be connected to each other. Now we need to configure this DNS server. Let's configure it and then we will move to computers with This is internal mail server. Let's take the access. This is Windows 10. Okay, I will install HMail server and Thunderbird client on this internal mail server and on this external mail server also. It is booting still. So let's go to this DNS server. Here let's install DNS and let's create MX record and A record. See here, we are translating this 192.168.1.10 internal mail server IP address into 101.1.11. Okay, so that it can be accessible from outside, right? And this external mail server is being translated into 10.4.10. This is the real IP address, and it is being translated into 102.1.11. So that it can communicate with ISP DNS server. Okay. Now let's go to DNS server and let's configure. This is internal mail server client on or mail server. On this, we will download HMail server and Thunderbird. Not Gmail, HMail. So here in DNS server, click on add and add roles and features. Right now, server is initializing. Wait for 2 minutes.
So you're downloading Gmail, is it?
HMail.
Oh,
I think
HMail.
typing mistake, yeah. Click on this link. This is your HMail server. Install. Thunderbird download. Here, save this HMail server. It will be downloaded. And this is Thunderbird pre-download. Click on this. The external mail server is also started. Save this Thunderbird. Okay, now both will be downloaded. Here we need to configure DNS on this DNS server. Here in the topology, it is connected here. Okay. So let's click on add roles and features. Click on next. Click on next. Okay. Then next. Here you need to select DNS server. Okay, click on next, next, next. install. Now DNS will be installed here, then we will create records. Okay. Other than this, let's go to external server, and here also let's download. See, this server is connected with internet. Okay, that's why we are able to download these applications directly. All these computers are connected with internet directly. So here Thunderbird is downloaded. So they are downloaded. Now you can disable internet connection from this PC. Otherwise, it will download updates and all. And I will tell you just to shut down the updates. You can say stop the update service, because when this PC updates itself, it downloads some other files as well. And after that, it starts crashing. Okay, this was the problem. So here, let's download. Download this one. Now let's go to internal mail server and here install. Let's disable internet connection from here. This is their internet connection. And let's configure this network adapter which is connected with R1 in the topology. Okay. Go to properties. And here DNS IP address is 101.103.1110. Now let's install HTML server and Thunderbird here also.
So 103.IP, where is it located?
It is in DNS server. Here, this is your DNS server.
103.
It is installing here. Okay.
Right.
Here I will configure 103.1110.
Okay.
Let's go to network adapter settings. Here I will assign 103.1110. Okay. On ISP router, here if I go to SRA, show IP interface view, you can see 103.1.1 is assigned. It is connected with DNS server. Okay. I think it is completed. Yes, DNS is available now. So you can go to tools and DNS. Here you need to configure MX record and A records for abc.com for xyz.com. Okay. So this is your server. Here you will go to forward lookup zone. Okay. And create a new zone. Click on next. Next. Here you will define zone name. So it is for abc.com. Okay. Click on next. This will be the file where your DNS entries will be saved, records will be saved. Next. Do not allow dynamic updates. Next. Finish. New zone is created. Here you will find a zone abc.com. Here you will create the record. This is the start of authority. Means it is an authoritative DNS server for the network. Okay. Here first of all, let's create a record, new host A. You can give the name, otherwise leave it blank. And here give the IP address of abc.com. So abc.com will be 101.1.11. Yes, 101.1.11. And add host. Okay. A record is created for abc.com. And now let's create MX record. This is your mail exchange record. Here you can give host name or child name. You need to leave that because we don't have any parent domain name. Okay. And here you need to define FQDN of the mail server. Browse. Here you need to select a record. Okay. Open this server, forward lookup on ABC, and this is a record. Okay. FQDN for mail server. So this MX record is created. Now let's create another forward lookup zone. Okay, xyz.com. Click on next, 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 finish. It is created. Here let's create a record for xyz.com. Its IP address will be 102.1.11. Translated IP address. It is added. Done. Let's add MX record. And let's browse it. You don't need to put that FQDN. If you have created a record for that, we were in abc.com, right? No, XYZ. This one. Okay. For this also, MX record is created. So DNS server is configured. Okay. Now let's go to internal mail server. Let me check IP configuration on this mail server. I think it is correct. Yes. If you want to ping CMD abc.com, it is reachable, right? Ping xyz.com. I think on this PC we have not configured IP addresses on the external mail server. That's why it is not reachable. Here also both of the software is downloaded. Here IP address is not configured yet. Change adapter settings. Disable this network adapter. It is connected with internet. Now we don't need that. And configure this network adapter which is connected with router. Yes, R9. Ten one four one. It is assigned on R9 router. And this DNS will be 103.1.10. Okay, now it is also connected. Now let's try to ping again from that internal mail server to xyz.com. So run section then no. Yes. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's disable the firewall also. Okay. And on this PC, internal and external mail server on both of the servers, just disable firewall. Okay. Now XYZ is reachable, right? So now we can install the servers. Go to download folder of internal mail server and external mail server. First of all, we will install HMail server. This one. And on this PC also. Run. Yes. Click on next. Next. I accept. Next. 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 Default. Next. Here you need to put the password for your mail server. Here also install HMail server on this external mail. Next. Next. I accept. Next. 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 Use default. Next. And password. Install. After installing this, we will set up email server, okay, and then we will install Thunderbird email client. Here it is finished, run HMail server. So here it is running, connect. As soon as you will click connect, it will ask for the password. Here also it is finished. Internal and external, both of the mail servers are installed, okay. Click connect. Now let's install Thunderbird. We will configure this HMail. Here also let's install Thunderbird. Run. And here also run. Yes. Yes. Next. In standard. Okay. Next. Next. Here also next install. So launch Thunderbird, finish, and finish. So now this is your internal mail server. Okay. Here we are going to configure this HMail mail server so that we can send and receive the mails. So click on add domain. This is HMail administrator. Add domain. This is for internal mail server and it is abc.com. Okay. Here you can define signature, limit, and other things, but here we need to save this. So one domain is created. Now in this domain, we need to create accounts. Let's say here I am creating user one. Okay. And its password is this. And save this. One username is saved here. Okay. And let's go to external mail server. Here also click add domain. This is xyz.com. Save accounts. Here I will create user 2. And here also we need to give a password and save. Now users are also created, right? Now we have to configure this Thunderbird client. This is Thunderbird client. Okay, it is a free and open source software. So this is a Thunderbird client. Here you need to put the full name of the user, email address, and password. It will be, you have to click on continue. So this is for external mail server, right? So it is xyz.com. It was user 2 and user 2 at the rate xyz.com. And password is this. We are setting up a mail client. Okay. It will communicate with DNS server. It will take the IP address of your mail server, and then it will take all the configuration from that mail server. It has received okay IMAP for incoming and IMAP for IMAP SMTP for outgoing. Sorry, and click on done. I understand the risk. Okay, click on confirm. Here your account is successfully created and it is set up in this Thunderbird mail client. So here this is your mailbox. From here you can create, you can send, you can receive the mails. Now let's go to internal mail server. Okay. Here also this server is ready. Now let's go to this Thunderbird client. So user is user1 and user1 at the rate abc.com, right? Here password is this. Continue. DNS must be configured. If DNS is not working properly, this communication is not going to work. Okay. So here it is also getting the configuration. So let's click on done. I understand the rest and continue. It will ask to change port numbers for SMTP and all. If you want to change them on the client, you can change it. Otherwise, you can use them on default. So here also it is getting the access of its box inbox, right? Now let's create a mail and to user 2 at the rate xyz.com. This is test mail and here we can send hello. Okay. User 2 at the rate xyz.com. Then now come here, click on inbox. Let's see if it is receiving the message. Now it has received from user 1, right? Test. And I sent hello. Okay. Both of the mail servers are working. Any doubt till now? If you want to send any mail from this server, right? Click on this, right? It will open a mailbox where you can create the mail to user 1 @abc.com. Okay, and subject test, and here hello user 1. Send. It will be here in sent messages. Okay, you can come to this. It has received mail from user 2. It is test hello user 1. Okay. Now emails are working in the network, right? We can go to